Allergies. Are you experiencing allergies? The pollen count this year is high because of all the water that we've had. And people who have never experienced allergies are now experiencing allergies. So let's talk about some natural ways that we can approach it. But please remember, I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not prescribing. My name's Kristen. I'm the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally. I'm a magnesium advocate. And you and I are just sharing information back and forth for both of us to make better decisions and be more accountable for creating optimal health. Number one, with allergies, and you might have heard me talk about this before, magnesium is a natural antihistamine and a bronchodilator. And it's for some people enough to keep their allergies down. For other people, they need more layers. And so, as what I'd like to do today is take that bottom foundational layer of magnesium and just start layering things on the top. As a little girl, I had some pretty severe allergies, even to the point that sometimes I had a little mask that I had to wear that would filter the air that I breathed. My seasonal allergies were bad, and my dad's were even worse. So there's a couple things that I've learned over the years that have helped me, a couple things that haven't helped me, and I'd also like to share some things that I've seen clients using and really helping them conquer their seasonal allergies. I want to start with the things that are just some habits that we can change first in the beginning. And my mom learned from a doctor that really helped me get on top of my allergies as a little girl was changing your sheets. Think about it. You go all throughout the day and there's all this pollen in the air and we're breathing it in. It's on our clothes, it's in our hair. And then we get into bed and we're surrounded by pollen while we sleep. And nighttime is when your body cleans everything up, resets its circadian rhythm. And so he told my mom, change her sheets every single night. Make sure she has clean sheets on and give her a bath before she gets into bed. And that way, not only was I getting into clean sheets that had no pollen, but I was getting the pollen off of my body from playing outside. Just those two things, for many people, it will help reduce your symptoms. Another thing that we can add is just simply hydration. If you're dehydrated, your lymph isn't moving and it's not cleaning up. And think of the pollen getting sticky and caught in your lymph. Being hydrated helps to thin secretions so they're not as troublesome. Now, I'm not saying you're having this horrible allergy outbreak. Go drink a glass of water, it will get better. I am saying it's a foundational piece that will reduce the risk of you having allergy outbreaks. The next thing I wanted to talk about was some people, it's a little woo woo. I wasn't sure where I stood on it. I've seen the benefit though, personally and in other people's lives. I want to bring it up and talk about it because I don't see it talked about a lot on social media. And you take it and filter it if it will work for you. If you play a pattern anywhere, you play that pattern everywhere. And when we have allergies, we have irritation and overreaction. Now, when I say you play a pattern everywhere, if you play it anywhere, think about it like this. If someone has a fear of losing their money, they tend to hold on to it very tightly. Maybe they don't like to spend their money or everything has to be on sale. Driving that could be a fear that there's not enough for them, that they'll lose their money. And so, if that's happening in their relationship with money, we need to look at how that's happening in their relationship with health. Do they have a fear that's keeping their cortisol high, that they're never going to get healthy? And then let's look at their relationships with people the closest to them. Do they have a fear of people leaving them? And so you can actually take that one area of money, and a lot of times you can find the same pattern in relationships, the same pattern with food, the same pattern with health. Let's go back to allergies, irritation, and overreaction. This year is the first time in many, many, many years that I'm actually having some allergy symptoms. And so one of the things that I did was ask myself, Kristen, where are you irritated and where are you overreacting? And I found some places. I'm not saying that by doing the work to process through those emotions brought down my allergies, but it did give me an opportunity to recognize I was really irritated because someone was crossing a boundary and I didn't want to restate the boundary because I was in a little bit of fear that it would change the relationship. And so I realized I needed to stand up, use my voice, state the boundary, keep it clear. And it ended up, she was incredibly grateful. Oh, thanks for telling me. It was no big deal to her. And I'd had some irritation over it. And so looking for things where you're overreacting or where you're irritated in personal relationships, in your relationships at work, and in your relationship with how you handle money, your relationship with food, and your relationship with your body. Are you irritated about parts of your body? Are you overreacting to something that's happening? And so when allergies kick in, it's a great time to do a little bit of inner looking at what's going on and fine tuning what's happening inside your mind, because we know our thoughts affect our health. Oh, I wish. Oh, dang it. I should have thought of this before. So pretend with me, okay? Will you pretend with me? Please pretend with me if you're willing to. Imagine I have a lemon, and it's a lemon, a Meyer lemon from my lemon tree that gives me the most beautiful lemons. They're big and they're plump. And imagine I cut it in half, and you know how sometimes it'll spray when you cut it and you get that intense lemon aroma. And then you take a great big bite. You just sink your teeth into that lemon and mm, right there, the back of your mouth. Mm. Did you feel that? Did your mouth water a little bit? Your thoughts changed the physical chemicals in your body. That's how powerful our thoughts are. And so when we have allergies, it's a really good time to fine tune our irritations and our overreactions. Now let's go to some things that we can layer on to reduce the histamine reaction that's happening in our body. And the first one that I want to talk about is one of my personal favorites. As I've worked with people for over 20 years, I see it helping so many people, and it's simple and it's easy. And for most people, they'll experience a difference in 2 hours to 48 hours. And that's pretty huge if you're not sleeping well and you've got red, watery eyes and you've got that tickle in your throat, and maybe it's gone to your nasal and you're coughing. And it is called quercetin with bromelain. It's the Now brand that I love. And the quercetin, think of it like a mop to mop up all the pollen and keep it clean. And then the bromelain actually reduces the swelling. So a lot of times when we have allergies, you'll see people doing this or going like this or rubbing their eye. That's because the tissues are reacting to the excess of histamines and they're swollen. And so the bromelain with the quercetin helps bring that swelling down. Making sure that you take up to 1,000 milligrams, and don't take it all at once, and take it about 20 minutes before you eat, I've found being the very best. And that Now brand. It's the purple and orange. It's pretty inexpensive, and I've seen it help so many people. Quercetin with bromelain. Quercetin is found in onions, berries, grapes, and a lot of times people will say, well, I'll just eat the food. But at the point, and you can, that's a great option. Like for dinner, make sure that it's on a bed of grilled onions. By the time you get to an allergic reaction, we need to get more in faster. And using that capsule can be as beneficial for many as Benadryl is, and we don't get the side effects of Benadryl. So for me, it's a really good fit. You filter that and take it for what it is. Another one that I wanted to talk about was Butterbur. Butterbur has been shown to be as effective as Benadryl at reducing postnasal drip and the itchy, watery that comes along with allergies. But you need to use the right kind. There's the root and the leaf. It's the root of the butterbur that was found to be the most effective. And so when you're looking for butterbur, make sure you're getting the root. And if there is some of the leaf in it, it will change how much you take, because the leaf has a certain amount you can take and the root has a certain amount you can take. And sometimes they're mixed together. No matter what brand you buy, make sure it has the root. That has the properties that really make a difference. And if you are experiencing and you know you have ragweed allergies, Butterbur is not going to be your friend at all, because it's in the ragweed family and it can make it worse. Now, let's say you don't know if you have ragweed. If you start taking Butterbur and your allergies get worse, back off. It is the Butterbur that's actually making it worse. I can take it and I experience a decrease, even though my dad had a really horrible ragweed allergic reaction. And so I wondered if I'd be able to take it, but I have been able to take it, and it reduces the symptoms that I've been experiencing the last couple weeks. And remember, leaf and root have different dosage. So whatever type you buy, make sure it has the leaf in, and then do the dosing that's on the back of the bottle. Another one that is similar, I wouldn't take both of them together. I would determine which one was a better fit for me, is stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is one of those, if you've ever done food foraging, which is one of my favorite things to do. I love food foraging. If you've ever done that and gone and gotten in the spring around the pine trees when there's snow, the stinging nettle tips, most of the snow's melted and you'll see the stinging nettle growing, and they're rich in iron and bioflavonoids, and they're incredible for reducing the histamine reaction. So a very strong antihistamine is in stinging nettle. Some people do better with butterbur and other people do better, excuse me. Some people do better with butterbur and other people do better with stinging nettle. Now, the stinging nettle, you want it to be freeze dried. That's going to give you the best benefit. Or if you've got the fresh, like, fresh is best, but not all of us have been food foraging and have fresh stinging nettle. The best is the freeze dried if you're looking at capsule form. And so making sure that it's freeze dried, you're going to get more benefit from the plants. And the stinging nettle, again, you want to make sure that you've got the root happening in there. And you want 300 milligrams twice a day on stinging nettle. A caution with stinging nettle, it can drop your potassium. If you're someone that has low potassium and you start taking stinging nettle and you feel worse, it's the stinging nettle dropping your potassium even lower. And so make sure you're getting good potassium levels up before you take that stinging nettle, because long-term use, using it more than 3 or 4 days, can drop your own potassium levels. And if you're not getting enough and then they drop even lower, you'll really feel lousy. And so determining if butterbur's a better fit for you or stinging nettle. I wouldn't do both. They both do the same thing. Some work better for one and some work better for others. And so it's more just playing with it and seeing which one is the best fit. We talked about bromelain, saltwater rinses. Some people swear by the neti pot, other people swear by the Medi-Wash. I have both, and I think both are equally effective. That salt water and washing out our nasal cavity and getting the pollen out. Our nose filters all of that pollen. And so giving it the ability to be cleaned out will actually help reduce your reaction, because your body's overreacting to the histamines that your body's releasing. And so that can really help. In fact, I was on the earlier live and a couple people said during allergy season, it works best for them to do either a neti or a Medi-Wash. The neti, you kind of tip to the side and it goes this way. The Medi-Wash, you squeeze up and then it just comes straight down. That they do it twice a day, and that's best for them. Let's see. Another one, we talked about the neti pot. We talked about the stinging nettle. Oh, let's talk about this one. Honey. How many times have you heard, oh, local honey helps allergies, and you've taken honey during an allergy reaction and it's done nothing? Well, that was me. I was like, what? I'm using a good honey. It doesn't do anything for my allergies. I was using the wrong local honey. I have a mountain local honey that I can get here, that a spoonful of that honey actually can slow down an allergic reaction for me. And so if you have access to trying different kinds of local honey, ask the beekeeper if he has any mountain honey, because it's going to have more pollen in it, which actually helps reduce your overreaction to pollen. And I was blown away the first time I used it. I was actually standing there and I was just going for flavor. I'd given up on the fact that honey could really help allergies. And I was just wanting the best flavor. And he had a clover or a mountain. And the guy behind me said, go for the mountain. And I think it was $5 extra. Go for the mountain. It is the most amazing medicinal honey. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. And then we want to be adding foods that will help our body slow down overproducing the histamines. So foods like that will be berries, onions, grapes. Those are all really good foods that help slow down that histamine reaction. I think that we talked about butterbur, quercetin, grapes, berries, natural antihistamine. We talked about magnesium. That was everything on my list. Everything. Allergies can walk you away from feeling good. Making sure you're adding and stacking those layers. Magnesium is a natural antihistamine and a natural bronchodilator, which is a good thing for someone who's experiencing allergies. For some people, we need more layers. And so just start adding those layers. My very first layer I would have you grab if you are not getting relief from your allergies and I'll tag it in the chat section part. And we have comments. I didn't even see them. I'm so sorry. Do you use the neti pot, Pam? Yeah, I started with the neti pot, and then someone else just was like, oh, the Medi-Wash is better. And I think they're equally good. I don't have a preference one over the other. Oh, a tree pollen allergy. Oh, with it, yeah. I have had children think that I am a nut with my natural health care. Um, oh, bloodshot, itchy eyes. One thing that you can do is keeping a lot of times when there's an increase of histamine, the eyes get drier. And so adding eye drop to keep those eyes moisturized can help to take that out. And my eyes, the only way to describe it is if you pulled the bottom of my eyelids down, the insides, the look like the whites of scrambled eggs. They would puff up and out, and my eyes would close shut. And that's when my mom learned how important making sure I had a clean pillowcase every night and clean sheets every night with no pollen, and that I bathed at night. Now, typically, I'm a morning person. I get up and I shower in the morning. But since I'm having a little bit of allergies right now, I am doing that at nighttime with clean sheets every night, clean pillowcase, so that I'm going to bed. And when my body's going through all of its cleansing and cleaning things up and circadian rhythm and resetting, it's not being attacked by pollens left in my hair, by pollens left on my body. And so that can make a really big difference for those itchy, watery eyes. It does for me, and I'd love to know if it helps him at all. I can't remember if it was the allergist or our general practitioner that shared that with my mom when I was little. I had really bad allergies. I had to wear a little respirator thing when they got really bad to help me um, just maintain basic functionality. And my dad's were even worse. And another thing that really helps, and it was interesting that I have to drive about 15 minutes to get it. And I haven't been taking it and drinking it as regularly. Raw milk. Raw milk. And it was interesting because my dad was raised on a dairy and they drink raw milk all the time. He never had allergies. When he moved from his dairy to California to work at the university at Fresno State, his allergies kicked in horribly. And the raw milk has tons of enzymes that help reduce the histamine. And so when my dad added raw milk back in, his allergies were less. And so I'm making sure that I'm driving out to Lassen's and getting my raw milk again, because for me, it's very beneficial in keeping my enzymes up and my immunity up. And it's helped me reduce the amount of allergies that I've been experiencing. And we never want to forget the role our gut plays. And your gut plays a role in how your body handles allergies. The number one best food to increase functionality in your gut is kimchi. It's better than sauerkraut. Now, my husband loves to make kimchi, so usually I have homemade kimchi. If you're not someone who loves to make it or has someone who loves to make it in your home, my favorite brand that you can buy at the grocery store is it's wild brine kimchi, and they have some that's very mild if you're not used to kimchi, and then they have lots of different flavors, and it's the richest in natural probiotics, more so than sauerkraut. And it's an incredible food just to keep adding every day. And if you do opt to add probiotics, remember a couple of things. Probiotics are a synthetic form of our own gut flora, and they are grown over and over and over and over. And when we take the same probiotic over and over and over and over, it can actually overtake our own natural gut flora and suppress it. And so when you do need to take probiotics, take them for short periods of time. It's not something personally that I think should be taken every single day, and rotate the type of probiotics that you're taking. So if you love this one brand, take a different brand the next time you're needing probiotics, because we don't want to keep taking these synthetic probiotics and suppress our own natural gut flora. And probiotics can do that. I see that happening more and more and more in people. And so we've got to be really careful buying into all the studies and the gazillions of dollars thrown at marketing that we can just pop a pill and have optimal gut health. It takes more than that. And ultimately, I think we know that building good gut health takes more than just popping a synthetic pill, but it's this nice little break of thinking, oh, I can just pop that pill. So they're appropriate to use after antibiotics and maybe during your allergies. Make sure you're rotating them and you're using them for short spurts of time, not a long-term solution, because we need to be building our own gut flora and making sure that we're not giving it so many synthetic probiotics that it's actually suppressing our own. Hopefully, some of these tips will help you walk away from allergies. And remember, this week on Friday, I am doing Friday favorites and my glasses that I love so much. The company, Caddis Life, sent me they sent me this massive box with so many pairs of glasses and I want to share. So I'm giving away 6 pair of Caddis glasses. You don't have to be on the the live. You don't have to be on the live at the time. So many people watch it recorded that I want to make sure I'm waiting 24 hours before I give those away. I'd love it if you join me live. We're going to have fun. We're going to do a little fashion show with the glasses. So I'd love it if you can join me live. And the beautiful thing about Caddis Life is companies will send me things and they want me to talk about it, but they'll set up all of these requirements. You have to say this and you can't say this and do this and say it this many times. And it just, I'm not doing that. And so I will just pass. I didn't even ask for the product. Don't send me your product and then dictate to me what I can and cannot say about it. That's not a good fit for me. Caddis Life just sent me the glasses as a thank you. They didn't say, share this with people who follow you, say this, don't say this. They just wanted to say thank you because for the last, I think since 2019, I've been tagging. It's my number one question outside of magnesium. Where did you get those cute glasses? So I always tag them and they realized I've been tagging them for a long time and they just want to say thank you. And it inspired me. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to show a physicalness of my gratitude for people that show up on my lives. And so for the next couple weeks, I'm giving away 32 ounces of magnesium to someone who is helping me build community. It's really important to me that we're building community because healthy women create. And creating community creates connection, and healthy women are connected. And so I will be tagging someone in the comment section after all my lives are done today and just saying, hey, send me your first and last name and your address through the DMs, and team will make sure that you get a 32-ounce jug of magnesium. Oh, I love that, Meryl. I'd love that for you to be on our live. And Sylvia, oh, I'm so sorry that your allergies. I thought I had completely walked away from allergies. I haven't had them for years and they kicked back in a little bit this year. And so I've had to kick some things in. Oh, Michelle, I think it will be fun. 6 pair of glasses. Ugh. Oh, you're very welcome. Griselle, is that how you say that? That is a beautiful name. And I think I might have just butchered it. And I apologize for that. They Caddis Life, Caddis Life is where the glasses are from. And it was just such a gracious way to say thank you to me, so much so that I've actually hired someone now to scan the internet and so that we can reciprocate out to people who were tagging us and sharing about her products. I was just so blown away. I hope that you walk away from allergies, and I hope that you join me on Friday. And remember, we've now been 30 minutes, 30 minutes, you and I have been on this live. We've connected. Some of us have through the comments, but we haven't taken action. And that's where health is created, when you take action. And I used to, when I first started, I would get so excited when someone would, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm also going to do this. And they were taking these big actions. And then I realized those people kind of gave up in a couple weeks and they ended up not creating anything different. It was the people who took tiny micro actions that 6 months later had completely changed the course of their health. So remember, after our live, if you have learned something, determine what's my micro action. We talked about hydration and how important hydration is during how important hydration is for allergies. We need to thin our secretions, and we do that by being hydrated. So maybe your micro action is just grabbing a glass of water after the live and making sure your hydration is spot on today, instead of, oh, I'm going to add this and I'm going to add this and I'll add this too. Oh, the neti pot is so beneficial. Oh my gosh, Denise. Oh, how kind of you to pass out the flyers. Oh, that's incredibly kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the neti pot, just like going to bed on clean sheets with a clean pillowcase, the neti pot cleans out the inside. Some people love the Medi Wash, some people love the neti pot, whichever you use. It just helps give you a stronger foundation to experience less symptoms. I'm excited and looking forward to tomorrow, to hanging out with you. I don't know what we're going to talk about, haven't planned it yet, but I'll come up with something. And if you have any thoughts or ideas of what we should talk about tomorrow, I'd love to know. Leave a comment, and that will, I go through all the comments, and I'd love to know if you've got some ideas about what we should talk about on Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.